Hey, and so after that last film, I decided I needed to watch something a little less traumatic. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my copy of Requiem for a Dream, but I did come across Offending Angels. It comes to us from the year 2000 and the apparent fever dreams of writer-director Andrew Rajan. It's a supernatural comedy about two guardian angels who descend to Earth to help renovate the lives of two wayward souls. And Offending Angels has a pretty stellar cast. Susanna Harker, fresh from her turn in the excellent sci-fi horror series Ultraviolet, stars as Paris, who descends from on high with a post-Lockstock Sean Parks. They are there to offer guidance to Baggy, played by Rajan himself, and Sam, played by Andrew Lincoln, a fact which proves that Rick Grimes had weird shit to deal with long before The Walking Dead. Before seeing it, I made certain assumptions about Offending Angels based on the title alone. It could have been like Nora Ephron's Michael, full of boozing, chain-smoking celestials.
How do you do?
Or it could have been full of members of the host offended by the vulgarity of their charges. Instead, we have four confused-looking individuals drifting along and casually accepting every strange thing which is happening to them. Our introduction to Sam and Baggy comes after a fairly pleasant opening credits sequence, and drops us into the sight of Baggy sharing a bed with a random hookup. It's not too bizarre, except for the fact they're in the furniture store where Sam works.
Don't believe it.
Our introduction to Paris and Zeke comes in a cafe. Now, despite the rather unusual setting, what really struck me as odd about this scene was Susanna Harker herself. Clearly she was aiming for ethereal, but she just kind of looks like she's stoned off her arse. There isn't much to say about the plot. Paris helps Sam realise his dream of becoming a singer, and he manages to get together with his long-term crush, Alison. Baggy and Paris fall in love, which makes Zeke jealous. This plot point is barely developed and is dropped quite quickly, though it does give us the fantastic scene of Zeke in a stairwell cupboard with a demon who's trying to seduce him. Essentially what we're talking about is a well-funded student film featuring a cast of rising stars. However, what's truly significant about Offending Angels is the fact that the narrative makes some bizarre turns during its 89 minutes. Here are some of the best bits. Zeke's opening gambit is to try and shock Baggy and Sam out of their complacency.
Scare them into action.
What?
These Sam and Baggy
In a dream, say.
appears their worst nightmare. Simple.
You might think he'd show them horrifying visions of their futures. Instead, he elects to do this.
Be very afraid. It's me. It's me.
I have no name. I'm the daughter you never had.
The partner of one of Baggy's many conquests turns up at the house to beat the shit out of him. The angels intervene and then quite easily convince him that they are in fact angels.
I'm the guardian angel.
You can say that again.
And I'm Sam's.
What?
I'm here to stop you throwing away your life.
Well, you've got perfect timing.
Both he and Sam seem to take this knowledge quite well.
You best move into Sam's room. Sam, you move in with me. Is that okay?
It's worth pointing out that not only have these two discovered evidence of the afterlife, but are now fairly certain about the existence of God. Paris reveals that in a previous life she actually was...
Dolphin.
I used to swim in the Pacific Ocean.
I'm going round Simon's for a swim.
But of course I couldn't possibly comment.
No, we can do better than this. Offending Angels appears on a lot of worst of lists, but personally, I found it more trippy than anything. As if David Lynch and Richard Curtis had worked together. Oftentimes, films like this find their most significant details in their reception. This film did quite well on the festival circuit, however commercially it was a colossal flop, taking only £90 against a £70,000 budget. To this day, both Andrew Lincoln and Jack Davenport refuse to discuss their participation in the film. Oh, did I forget to mention Jack Davenport? He's in this, and clearly he regrets every second he was on screen. And I mean every second. What we're looking at here is Jack Davenport's entire contribution to Offending Angels.
Puffy sort of shoe. Bird, Chinese bird. No. Fabio, it's yours, bird.
That was barely 30 seconds. And it's a good thing he wasn't on screen any longer. If he'd made it to a full minute, he probably would have killed Andrew Rajan with a flamethrower.
Call me an ambulance. I think my head's exploded. It's okay. I've already called them.